The truth is, almost all of Peacemaker is canon, with the exception of Justice League.
What?
Which we will kind of deal with in the next season of Peacemaker. Nothing for sure is canon unless you see it in Creature Commandos Forward for the DCU.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, in Creature Commandos, you'll hear them talk about things that happened in Suicide Squad or Peacemaker. Well, then those things automatically become canon.
This is bullshit.
All right, guys, so I want to talk about this for a quick second. So James Gunn is, I haven't really talked too much about James Gunn. I did make a video talk about the Brave and the Bold. I do want to address those issues and stuff like that. But there's also, there's an article that came out on comicbook.com and all these other stuff. So I'm not really going to touch upon the article as much. I'm going to put the links in the description box below, where I give you my opinion on what this means and what he's trying to say, et cetera, et cetera. I have another video I did. It was about 17 minutes long. I don't know if I uploaded it or not. If this video does well, I get some comments in the below. If you guys want to check that video out, I go more in depth into what he's saying in the article, but I'm just giving you my brief opinion on what he's saying on here. It's going to be a little bit shorter. You could say this is going to be like a shorter version of the other one. But I want y'all to do me one favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. That helps me out a lot. But let's get into this video. So James Gunn is trying to pretty much clarify the fan confusion over how much Peacemaker is pure DC canon and not. Here's my thing. He comes out and he contradicts himself a lot. I stated this a couple months back. I said he just needs to stay off of Twitter, just show us first, and then explain. Well, honestly, here's the thing. If you have to explain something, then you're not doing your job as a filmmaker, a writer, or whatever to clarify this like on the screen. But again, James Gunn has not released anything yet, so it's best for him to shut up, and then when it comes out, he can clarify things because it makes more sense. But he's not making things better. When the fans ask him, "It's Peacemaker canon?" He's like, "Yes, it is." And then you're like, "Well, how?" And you put Jason Momoa in there. He's not Aquaman. He's supposed to be a Lobo. And you're not using Ezra Miller Flash anymore. That was at the end of Peacemaker. Then he's coming out like all of Peacemaker is canon except for the Justice League. I'm like, that don't make any sense. You're picking and choosing what you want to do. Like, okay, cool. How about you just say these are variant versions, and season 2 of Peacemaker is canon, and leave season 1 alone. That's all you have to say. He wants to connect everything that he's doing canon. You can't do it, bruh. Just leave it alone. Just say they're different variants and call it a day. We're cool with that. Now, I can get in details what they should have done with the Flash film and everything, but I'll be here all day. I don't want to go in detail with that. It's over with. It's done. The film came out. It bombed. We're moved on past that. But all he needs to do is say they're variants, and that's it. And we're smart enough to understand that. That's all you have to say. But he's trying to connect everything that he's done in DC. If he could connect his Guardians of the Galaxy, he fucking would. You can't do that, bro. You're confusing the fans. Now we're trying to figure out, is it? You're making things worse. Shut the hell up. Just put out Superman and just put out Creature Commandos and say, well, this takes place in this time period. And it's connected, but it's not. But it takes place in this time period. But it's the first DCU project. But it's more connected to Superman than anything else. No, he's trying to connect Creature Commandos to fucking Suicide Squad. I'm like, bro, no. Move away from that. That's DCEU stuff. Don't connect it no more. You should try to connect it to Superman, but he's trying to connect this to Peacemaker season 1, the Suicide Squad. Bruh, no, you're confusing the fans. You could have a fresh start with these characters. Just make them a different variant. That's all you have to do. We okay with that. The Amanda Waller TV show, she shouldn't be wearing an afro. She should have a different look. She should be a different variant from the Suicide Squad and from all her other predecessors. If you bring back Harley Quinn, She shouldn't look like the one from the Suicide Squad. She should look different. Make these characters a different form. You have the liberty to make them different now. Just go with that. That's all you have to do. But it's just getting too much. But like he's in this article, he states basically everything is canon except Justice League. That don't make no sense. You talk about the last scene of the Suicide Squad. I mean, not Suicide Squad, but Peacemaker. That's not canon when the Justice League show up. No, that whole season's not canon. Season 2 is canon because it takes place right after Superman. And Creature Commandos is canon. He said, oh yeah, Blue Beetle's canon. I can see that because Blue Beetle, if you watch the film, it tries its hardest not to be connected. It tries to be its own thing. You can make reference to the events or what happened in the film, and you can spin that off and do its own thing. I'm okay with that. If you watch the film, you can see like, okay, you see what they're doing. That makes sense. But the rest, not so much. But when he said all the Peacemaker is canon, bro, no. Just stop. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too. You can't do that. You have to go off with a fresh start. And season 2 of Peacemaker is a fresh start for this universe. Creature Commando is a fresh start to this universe. And Superman is a fresh start to this universe. And just go full throttle with that. And that's it. So yeah, that happened. That's a alternate world. You know, Peacemaker is not canon. Season 2 is more canon. You'll see certain things, events like that. I wish it was canon, but I don't want to confuse the fans and say it is and not. Be transparent and be honest. He's not trying to do that. He's trying to have everything connected. That's why a lot of people don't like him, because it's like, bro, stop. We know you want your shit connected, but it won't work. You're confusing fans because the Suicide Squad makes reference to the first Suicide Squad film. Peacemaker makes reference to what goes on in DCEU. It's not connecting. You cannot make reference to this new universe you're doing. You have a new Superman. You have a new Lex Luthor. It's a new world. Just focus on that and leave it alone. That's all you got to do. But he's starting to confuse his own fan base. Even his fans are like, "What are you talking about? Like, didn't you say it wasn't canon? And now it is because he said it back in March. Oh, Peacemaker's not canon. He's doing too much. Stay off of Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Stay off of Blue Sky, or I like to call Blue Cry, and just leave it alone. I don't see Christopher Nolan. I don't see Steven Spielberg. I don't see none of these other guys on Twitter like that, because they know I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. Because when I show you, you're going to shut the hell up. That's all he needs to do. Show me so I can shut the hell up. But he's not doing that. It feels like he's trying to do all this stuff just to get attention, and also because nobody's really talking about Superman right now. Nobody's really talking about DC in general, other than the Penguin that did well. But even then, when they talk about the Penguin, they talk more about how good it's like the Sopranos and the Batman, how it's not connected to DC. So James Gunn's not really doing himself any favors. And this is no hate. This is just an honest opinion, what he needs to do. And I want him to do well. I just don't want him to constantly keep doing this idiotic shit, because I think he's a great filmmaker and he's a good writer, but show me, then tell me. Don't answer these fan questions, because what you're doing is any news outlet's going to take it and then they're going to be like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, stop answering their fan questions. Just tell them, don't worry, it's all going to be explained in Creature Commando. Don't worry, it's all going to be explained in Superman Legacies, which is, he was better off keeping that title. Why are you just calling it Superman? That's just, no, there's only one Superman film, and that is the Christopher Reeve one. Why are you calling? That's why I don't like it. That's kind of like a slap in the face to Christopher Reeve's film. There should be always one film, and that should be Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve film. No other film should have that title. That's a disrespect to him, and I don't like that. That's coming from a Superman fan, but also coming from a film fan too. Nobody should touch Richard Donner or Christopher Reeve's film title. That belongs to one man, and that belongs to Christopher Reeve and actually two men, Christopher Reeve and Richard Donner, and everybody else who was in that film. Whoever was in that film, that belongs to them, nobody else. That's my take. But anyway, I'm going a little bit off topic. Anyway, as always, like, subscribe, peace. Comment below, let me know. What do you guys think? You think I'm overreacting a little bit? Or you guys agree with me? He just needs to stay off of X, Twitter, Blue Sky, Blue Cry, and just stay off of one of them, and just let his film do all the talking. Let his series, if it's Peacemaker season 2 or Creature Commando, let that talk for him instead of him constantly answer these fan questions, because he's doing more hurt to his own universe than anybody else. Because again, I think people understand Commandos number 1, Superman number 2, Peacemaker season 2, it's number 3. We're putting the dots together, but he's not helping anything by trying to still get that last bit of DCU stuff that he did connected. Leave it alone. It's dead and buried. Everything in that universe is dead. It died with the Flash. Let it die with the Flash. That's all I have to say. All right, I'm out.